charity, but we are hopping in to the first game of the day. Reminder, there are 6 games here for MENA and 6 games in Europe. So 1 of 6 today for MENA. Who is going to come out on top? Battle bus loaded players are hopping out. Beautiful view of that battle bus. And my first question for you, Levin, where are we going to see some contention?
I think we know where, right? Command Cavern has been one of the biggest spots in terms of contention. Tilted Towers as well is one of the more prevalent ones. I think those 2 spots for sure will have some people fighting there. But all around the map, right? Even if you aren't directly fighting off spawn, we've seen a bunch of engagements take place everywhere in every single corner. So I think we got to keep our eyes peeled for where that's going down. It's actually interesting though, right? Because taking a look at Tilted and Command Cavern in this first game, it actually doesn't look like those spots are contested right now. So a bit of a more interesting dynamic that I think we're not as accustomed to seeing. Drafter and Senpai, Kaizu, look, giving them Tilted Towers for free, Clay. I don't know if that's the right decision if you're the rest of the lobby and you're trying to catch up to them.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. You want to land on them. Like, I know it's a big thought about, you have to be careful about, right, essentially throwing your games to do so. But if you know where the first place team is going to land and you know there's no way to catch up to them unless they go down early, and you're one of the teams that's like, you know what, we got to change up our game plan. Heck yeah, land on them, right? Like, play your game, land on them, and try to take them down. Because 100%, the only way for anybody to catch up is for them to fall early.
Yeah, we got some even spread all across the map. Monk and Speedy we saw a lot of in the previous games. They're definitely a duo who can have a big impact. Not as consistent as some of the ones higher up, but they'll have their game here and there. Especially considering we have 2 more games than what we've had in some of the previous sessions. I definitely expect these guys to have some sort of deep run at some point.
Oh, I do as well. With today, Levin, if you could take one player and ask them to make just a highlight reel play, right? I'm talking highlight reel. Who's gonna do it? Who are you gonna ask?
Who am I gonna ask? Who do I trust the most to make a highlight reel play? I don't think they've actually done as well in these games, but it'd probably be NM7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I like the dedication there. I'm a fan. I would have to go with highlight reel. You know what? I'll say a clutcher. Right, you got the name Clutcher. You gotta be able to hit an amazing shot, right? Right, Levin? You put it in your name, it's gotta be true, right?
Fair enough, mate. You do have a point there. Again, we're seeing over here at Daily Bugle. Well, there isn't any Daily Bugle standing. It's something. It's not the Daily Bugle.
You know, it reminds me a little bit of back in the day. You go to Tilted Towers, you break down all the builds, you get that 1v1 battle going, right? It reminds me a little bit of that, but we're seeing the downside of it here, right? You start breaking down all the builds, you have nowhere to hide.
Yeah, not much cover here, and they get the knock on King. And you can see how swiftly Grev is looking to try and get in there and get the full finish. This is not a great start for King, but it's not over by any means. You can see VDFO just gonna get out. Has plenty of time, right? You have loads of time in terms of waiting to get a reboot card. So as long as he just sort of gets some decent loot, I was gonna say gets his mats up, but no, that's not a thing in this mode. There are no mats to be had or to be used.
Wait a minute, did you see that? Gas was only $2.39 a gallon? Hold on. I'm gonna need the Fortnite prices to come back, Levin, because it's like almost $5 a gallon over here.
Yeah, you're trying to hop in the island IRL. I see that.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to. Let me hop in, fill up my car real quick, and then let me hop out. And okay, so let's theory craft a little bit here, right? Let's say in the future no building stays around, but they change it up a little bit. You can build, but only like 3 pieces at a time, one of each material, right?
Oh, okay, interesting.
What's your strategy for that late game, right? Do you try to get a position where you can farm up extra mats, build the box essentially? What's your thoughts?
So you can only build one of each material at a time.
Yeah. So you have 30 total materials: 10 wood, 10 brick, 10 metal.
Or you only get 10. You only get 1 build per each.
Yeah. You get 1 build. You can hold 1 build's worth of materials.
I figured it'd just be the same as what no build looks like. It's just you just have that extra bit of cover, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think endgame would be a little different, right? Because you'd see people that like they would find one of those really big rocks, farm it up, and build around with that, and like leave extra so that in case someone does, use a tank or shoot it down, they have the ability to rebuild it.
Yeah, but that would still just look like no build, right? Because people already use those rocks as cover in no build, you know?
So yeah.
It'll look really the same. People do that in regular builds anyway, you know? You
gotta over farm.
So I don't think it'd look too different. I think it'd pretty much play out mostly the same. But I think I'd rather just stick with just, full builds, me personally. Maybe I'm a bit biased there.
Listen, you gotta hop in no build and give it a try, because as you can see, it's a lot of fun, and it really challenges your idea of Fortnite. And you can see a lot of these players having their challenge, right? Because you have to think about more about rotations, more about natural cover, because when you're rotating through those in-game circles, if you know the map well enough, you'll know where the hill is, if they can see you from a certain hill or not. And I mean, this is a stretch, and I mean, feel free to call me out if you don't agree, Levin. But I feel like for players playing, for some of these pro players that do play these no-build competitions, they'll have an edge up on some of these other players that don't, because again, it challenges you to be more creative with your rotations. And we know in competitive Fortnite, sometimes you have to pull out everything.
I don't agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree. I hear that. I think with these no build competitions, I think it's great. You're seeing a lot of these teams here like Rabbit and Shoe. You got to sort of find your way to rotate. But ultimately, right, there's never really that much indifference in terms of the way teams are actually choosing to rotate for the most part. In terms of just understanding how many teams are going to be located in the general area at sort of ease your pass. A lot of these teams are in vehicles, right, anyway, and so that will always make your rotation just that bit easier. I think for the most part, a lot of the fundamentals remain the same, which is why these pros do so well anyway, right? In terms of like, if you're competitive, if you chuck us in this lobby, we probably wouldn't do as well, right? But I think a lot of the fundamentals stay the same. I just think the obvious thing, right, is just when, looking for fights and things, build fights just don't happen, right? Because they can't happen. But I think most of these guys are fine. They've got everything sorted out. As long as you have good aim, you're good. You're fine. Good aim, some good loot. You'll do well in this mode.
I don't even think you have to have good loot. Like, let's be real. As long as you have a combat SMG and a striker burst rifle, you're chilling.
Yeah, true.
You need to just have that. Or, I mean, as Rocky's using the MK7, we saw it a couple times yesterday, but not really. I don't know what your opinions are on this, Levin, the striker versus the MK7, which one you would go for. But for me, it's got to be the burst rifle.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with the burst rifle. I'm surprised we actually haven't seen more of the MK, actually, as you pointed out. It was just such a force in competitive last season. I would have thought a lot of the players would have just used it just for a bit of a throwback, if anything. But we're seeing how dominant it can be in somebody's hands. NM7 making great use of it there. Oh, that wasn't NM7, sorry. It was Rocky Reels' teammate that had it. They look like they want to push in here, and I understand why. Shockwaving his teammate in, trying to use that anvil a bit closer range, doesn't work out, but still, a great little play there. They pick up Faris. And Clutch of C4 will have to get out, and this is sort of one of the first examples we've seen of the Rift to go and the impact it has in these games, right? Faris goes down. Clutch of C4 able to get out very, very quickly.
Not for long. Clutcher got eliminated by an M7X there, out of the air. And I think that's one of the biggest changes introduced with these weapons that you can aim down the sights with. I mean, we're used to ADSing in Fortnite being over the third-person shoulder, but right, they introduced the MK7, they introduced the Striker Burst Assault Rifle, and now you can actually use the sights there. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that we've seen and really elevate a lot of people's gameplay is the fact that your aim is now even more rewarded, and you can tell when you're trying to shoot someone out of the air, right? These players, right, like Mongrel, who have that aim that we all know can shoot players out of the air, now are going to be even more rewarded and can get them taken out easier.
Yeah, and we're seeing Grev here in a position that a lot of teams like to just sort of chill in underneath these bridges, sort of stay out of harm's way. That's one of the keys to being successful in these games, being able to just stay out of harm's way. Camping in bushes is also another form of doing that as well.
Oh, the bush camping is a vibe. 11. It seems like every game here in MENA, as of lately, we've seen one person all the way in the zone. Today, that person is a spy. I don't see Dexify there with him, as Dexify is not with them. They are in zone. So my thoughts here are they've sent Spy in zone to just try to heal it out while Dexify tries to go for eliminations. I mean, how feasible is that, you think, Levin?
Yeah, I think it's pretty feasible. I think most of these guys just sort of understand that they can get away with it in terms of just timing, right? And it's optimal in terms of positioning. I think we're seeing a lot of these players be a bit more particular about their positioning. They want to try be in spots where they're just not going to be as many people to sort of deal with, not going to be many people in their way. And so if tanking a bit of the zone can help provide that, then why not?
I mean, let's be real. I mean, Spy's all the way at the water bar right now. He's not getting back into zone. So I think they've sent him in and just said, you know what, you're playing the heal game. And we saw it work okay yesterday in North America. I believe it was Plink that stayed in zone and tried to do an active heal off, got second place.
The heal plays are pretty decent, right? Of course, when we saw it over in NA yesterday, they didn't have any LMs, which meant that even though they came second place, they didn't gain the second most points from that game. But if you can just consistently do that, you'll rise the leaderboard in no time.
Honestly, yeah, some people may do it. Soriano, we're going to see getting a little bit of a fight there, is going to get the knock. Looks like it came on the back of a heavy sniper. And, oh, that's one of the hardest parts about no build is, like, yes, you have the ability to hide behind these things, but players can see you, and Soriano is going in. We're probably going to see a Rift to go popped here almost immediately. No, Trick Shots is getting in the tank, and, ooh, that may have been a bit of a misplay, but they're both able to get on.
Yeah, you gotta get your angles right. They've struggled with that so far. Soriano punishes Trick Shots though. Again, it's always funny seeing people interact with the same vehicles, because as soon as they stop, it goes back to straight beef. And you can see they're taking shots at this tank. Trick Shots will be all right though, plenty of HP. And with that repair tool, he can just get right back up as well. Oh dear.
Oh.
Gotta be careful there, my friend. Gotta get the cow catcher down quickly.
It seems like it's... I think they literally just traded places, right? They went from one side to the other, but now Soriano went to the side of A third party coming through. Speedy is going to go down. Balor will fall as well. Soriano is going to go for that Rift to go, but now you're seeing why taking a Rift to go in any zone of competitive is just going to be that hard to use. And they go down because of it.
Very similar to what we're seeing with jetpacks, right? In terms of if you allow yourself to stay up in the air for just that bit too long, especially with a bunch of people with burst assault rifles, they will just laser you out of the sky. The best case scenario we're seeing for the Rift to go, or its best function, is just last ditch emergency, right? Just trying to just stay out of harm's way when there's plenty of chaos going around. That way maybe people sort of forget to deal with you because they're preoccupied with other people. But using it for rotations like that, we're seeing the potential negative impacts of it. Draftel and Senpai looking strong, which is nice. This will be a team to watch out for potential winners, and this is why. Look at the shots Senpai's hitting there. Can they close it out? Yep, NM7 will go down. Rocket Rules will follow as well. These guys are relentless. And first game of the day, and they're already looking back to their winning ways. But let me not speak too soon. There's still plenty of teams left in this lobby, but plenty of teams that they have defeated many a time before as well. And maybe the Kasaka's coming out here to get behind the rocks quickly enough, and the team that actually was taking shots at them being forced to move back themselves, Adapter and Mansour.
You've got to be careful because they were getting a little over aggressive shooting at Senpai and Draftel, and now it looks like Draftel is going into zone. Shockwave's just coming out, and Draftel really needs to throw some cow catchers down, and Hero's going to take them.
Yeah, they got caught out. They got caught out there positionally. They were sort of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Two teams had really nice angles on them. And that's not something that they struggled with in the past, but maybe just a wake-up call they needed moving forward. Wagner and Hero, though, another team that's not unfamiliar with being at this stage of the game. Just 5 teams remaining. Rapid up in the sky and plenty of eyes on him. Will he be able to hit the shots or stay alive? Sorry, no. Wagner will take him down. Dexter fighting Spy. Another team who we've actually seen make some plays where they just straight up will hide as long as they possibly can to stay out of trouble. And I think in this zone, that might be the best option as well.
And I want to make sure everyone's still aware that Spy is still up. Spy is still in the zone, still healing. Where, I don't know exactly, but they're up. They're getting points. And again, it's working for them. They wanted to go in, send Spy to heal, have Dexify try to go for elims, and that's exactly what they're doing.
We're seeing here Hero and Wagner. They've done a really good job so far. 5 eliminations, but it's very difficult sitting behind this tree. And this zone is one of the more interesting ones we've seen because it's so much flat land, and you're seeing Dexify just wanting to take the fight to his opponents because he's running out of cover where it won't be enough. Just Spy left, deep somewhere in the zone, keeping his team in this one.
Oh.
And another Rift to go comes out.
That was actually kind of a clutch one. They sent the Anvil rocket launcher shot over, and so essentially they negated all that damage coming through just by going for that. And oh, what a shot from Hero. As Mansour is very low, trying to repair the vehicle. Not going to be able to do so. Oh, Hero and Wagner are doing really well. I don't think Spy has got the heals to do it. They've spotted Rabbit out, so they're going to get that elim. And now comes the point where they're confused. Spy has got 2 more med miss left, floppers, bandages, chug splashes.
He's not going to be able to survive this. He can't win the game with the heals he has. He just won't be able to survive. But a valiant effort nonetheless. Spy doing a brilliant job. Hero and Wagner will be the winners of this game. It is just a matter of time until Spy will fall and run out of heals. And I think they know that as well. They just have to sort of dance around, do their victory lap. Spy will only last a matter of a couple seconds, and even he realizes and just gives it up completely. But brilliant, brilliant work. Second place is not too shabby. We'll figure out where that leaves them in the context of that game very soon, especially since, you know, it wasn't as, you know, bad as some of the other ones we saw where people just have straight up, you know, nothing to their name. So a really nice attempt right there, but we saw a brilliant, brilliant performance from Wagner's